Yeah.
Ready?
We're live.
We're live. We are live.
Refresh. You should be on like creator dash or whatever.
I got you.
I need to fix my link tree. I forgot.
The link tree?
Yeah, my link tree only shows Twitch. I'm pretty sure. I need to add YouTube to my link tree.
You need to add me?
Huh?
You need to add me or what? What did you say?
I need to add YouTube to my link tree.
Oh, YouTube, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Press the chat bubble. No, on the laptop.
Yeah, I pressed it.
No, like my profile picture. Then should say creator dashboard.
Ah, there we go.
Boom. And then up top it should be like manage stream.
Stream manager. Boom. We're done. We're good. Rolling.
Nice. Oh, it shoots me out because I feel like my TV is very dark, but I'm not that dark, so.
You're a little dark. A little tan.
No, not in that sense.
Are you excited about today?
Yeah, very excited.
Lots of news to cover, huh? Yeah, when's the last time we streamed?
Long time ago, honestly. When was it? Like almost 2 months?
2024. It's way too long.
Oh man.
It's not enough time.
Apparently we have 2 viewers. I don't know on what platform. Probably YouTube. I think on YouTube it shows on the thing.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Should have brought your tablet so we could see the YouTube chat.
See, this is why I forgot my tablet.
Oh, that's cool.
Super.
But yeah, a lot has gone on. If you're on right.
Any updates? Life updates?
Life updates? Nah, not really.
There's nothing that went on in a month that you want to...
That I want to share? No.
Anything, you know?
Nah, not really. Just been lazy.
Lazy? That's not a good way to start your 2025.
I mean, it's honest. At least I'm on right now. You know, I can't go back and worry about that shit. But we got a lot of interesting shit to talk about, and we're trying to figure out how to formulate the show in a way that we can go live consistently every week and have it be interesting and have stuff to talk about and not have it take too long to do the research on, but also still be well informed and still be interesting enough to be watchable. So I apologize for my inactivity. Soon I'll be getting a new computer, so we'll be running even faster. I know it's a little bit laggy since I'm running both on Twitch and YouTube, and obviously I have all this technology working, so stuff does get laggy sometimes, especially when I watch the YouTube videos. But hopefully soon, once I get the computer and all of that settled and figured out, we're gonna be chilling. Tonight we're enjoying a beautiful bottle of Cabernet, Costco Cabernet, hook and crook. It's nice. It's light, still nice and full bodied, nice and juicy, very very tasty. You know, so always gotta drink check. I'm ready whenever you are.
Let's start.
Unless you have more things to talk about, you know. So.
Just a quick update, you know, what you've been up to and stuff.
What about you? Any updates with you?
Nothing, bro. I've literally done nothing. A whole bunch of nothing.
Damn, homie was like, "Hey, do you wanna
do something?
do you wanna tell the class about what you did during winter break?" I was like, "Nah, I have nothing to say." Just for you to be like, "Oh, me neither, fool."
You know, I just thought it was kind of funny, you know, asking you, like,
putting me on the spot.
Knowing that you have nothing to do, just like as me.
Yeah.
You know, but at least we're honest, and you know we're here. This is the first stream.
No, second stream.
Second stream, but first of 2025.
That's true. First of consistently streaming.
It's a little more consistent.
The product isn't where I want it to be in terms of quality, but I've decided to say fuck it and, you know, stream even if the quality isn't that good rather than not stream and just focus on the quality. So, yeah, because if not, I'll never get this shit going. So,
you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, bro. So, whenever you want to start, you know?
Cue me up.
We need to figure out a cue up to start.
I mean, you see the first bullet point.
Oh, introduction.
No, fool, not that. Like, come on.
It's a light joke to say.
Yeah, I mean, it starts as a light joke, and then every stream we're gonna start with just introduction.
So, I mean, it's January 16th, 2025.
That's true. That's today's date.
This week's local news of introduction. We're gonna go by statewide news, what's going on with the whole fire nationwide and global. You know, give a quick recap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cue you up first.
Start with the first point. You don't have to do like an overview of the things that. Well, I mean, like.
I'll be honest.
Monkey ass.
When you said cue you up, I thought you meant like an introduction, like first like overview rather than the link. So that's on me.
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah.
It's first one back. Plus, we're using a new way to organize like our notes and stuff like that. So.
Plus, we're a little slow too. Alright.
Now you're a little slow.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways.
So as we're expecting President Trump to soon take over, there's going to be a ramping up in deportations and ICE immigration busting into people's homes and business places and rounding people up who don't have papers and extraditing them illegally, in my opinion, especially because, you know, a lot of these people who are going to get rounded up are going to be American citizens who just don't have an ID on them, you know. But for those who don't know, ICE, which is Border Control, La Huda, Los Marranos, Los Hijueputas de Mierda, they have a 100-mile enforcement zone in the United States. So what that means is that 100 miles from any border or any coast, ICE is able to go and is able to, like I said, rake into homes and business places, round up your sisters and cousins and aunts and aunties and uncles and put them under, pretty much incarcerate them and ask them for papers and then deport them if they don't have any papers. You know, not very free in the freest country on earth, but just for anyone who's wondering whether they are safe from immigration just because they are in the United States or because they live in a sanctuary city like Santa Ana, that does not apply. These assholes do not give a fuck. They do not give a single fuck. If you live in California, unless you live in... There's not even any cities in California that aren't affected by this in all actuality, because no one really lives in East California. But all of the major cities in California are susceptible to this. So Yeah, the American Gestapo are just allowed to go and just, you know, do illegal and horrible shit to immigrants because of this 100-mile border enforcement zone law that we have going on. And this has been going on for many, many years. This isn't just a Trump thing. This was going on with Obama, too, and Obama deported, thousands and thousands and thousands of people as well. So, yeah, and then if you want to scroll down, like, you're kind of in charge of, like, if you see anything interesting and whatnot, you can bring it up and whatnot.
I'm curious on, like, how much this is going to cost, Like, it's going to be billions of dollars, right?
We'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there? Okay.
Well, so, I mean, this already costs the state millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But this is what's presently happening, right? This is under the Biden administration.
Yeah.
If you go back to Notion, show the picture that you posted all the way down. This is the best thing you could do if you spot immigration in any of your neighborhoods here in California or in any of the highlighted regions that we just saw. Post it on Instagram. Let people know about it, because the only way that we can protect people in our community is word of mouth and awareness. So using social media to your advantage, whether it be Instagram, whether it be word of mouth, or anything like that, is how you keep people safe from this. So yeah, this is just an Instagram post, and it's the easiest way to get people to be aware of the fact that they are in danger. Even though these people are working hard at their jobs, washing dishes and doing construction and working agriculture and making our economy function, we decided to demonize the people in our own country. And so, unfortunately, this is the result. So we have to protect our own and
support our community instead,
Exactly. Even just because people don't have papers in my community don't mean that they're not a part of my community. For instance, in Santa Ana, 60%, either 40 or 60% of people in Santa Ana are undocumented. To say that they're not a part of the community is insane. So.
Yeah. And then, like, another question I do have is, like, it says that they'll stop you if they establish, like, reasonable grounds. Like, what does that mean? Instead of, like, in, like, quotation marks, reasonable grounds, just make up any excuse, or what?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you look Mexican. You look Honduran.
You look brown. Like,
yeah.
Let me stop you.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a lot of profile.
Yeah. It's, do you have an ID? I think you should be able to exist in California or whatever state you live in without an ID. I don't think it's a law to not have your ID on you. Obviously, you should carry it. You should always carry your ID because of things like this. But to worry about being separated from your family because you don't carry it, it's it's fucked up.
Yeah, it's messed up.
This website is a really good resource though.
What website is this?
Go back. I don't know why
I don't know either. So this helps us to donate.
southernborder.org.
Okay.
So if you want to know more about the legal process on, if you have family who are fighting against this bullshit, and, the legal processes which, you'll have to go through if you're dealing with this, definitely use resources like this. There's also a lot of lawyers who specifically take on immigration cases and whatnot. They're definitely the best resource for this stuff. So, but this is unfortunately only going to get more ramped up. And like you said, the thing with Trump is that he's going to, try and deport millions and millions of people. And this is just what's happening right now. So this is going to go into crazy, crazy full effects very, very soon. So
in like a year or two, huh? Like, it's really going to go into effect.
Yeah.
You know what they want to do? 13 million people.
Yeah.
That's like 4% of the population right there.
Yeah, 7 million more people than Adolf Hitler.
That is insane, and that's a lot of resources just thrown out just for immigration.
I don't think it will happen, and I really hope it doesn't happen, but that would be fucking insane.
I think it will happen in the sense of like a million. Like,
oh yeah. I don't think it's gonna be 14, but I think like
it's still going to be
hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people's lives are going to be put.
And their families going to be separated. Yeah. So, What's next?
Oh yeah, what to legislate? People should be able to live wherever the fuck they want, as long as they don't come into your house or your place of business unwarranted. If a Honduran wants to start his life in America, he should be able to do that. If an American wants to go and start his life in Honduras, they should be able to do that. Human freedom and the right to be able to move and travel is a fundamental human right. Who are we to tell the aliens that they can't fly from planet to planet? So who the fuck is any government official in a position of power to tell us where and where we cannot live? I believe in freedom because I'm an American, but these fucking asshole politicians, they don't believe in that, So, and things that you should do: use social media, use communication technologies, spread awareness, let people know that this shit's going on, because it's not fucking cool. This is anti-freedom. To round people up and put them into cages is anti-American and anti-freedom, and it's fucking disgusting. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of profile, It's like they go to their local Hispanic area and just like get a bunch of ice trucks and literally deport anyone there.
Yeah.
It's just now it's like you can't even go out and buy groceries in fear of getting deported.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't even step outside without being scared of being apprehended. Like, if you're brown, it's like being Jewish in Germany. It's like stepping outside and worrying about, oh, am I going to see my fucking family again? Because I'm just going to get scooped up by some fucking Nazi and get, put into a fucking concentration camp for 3 years before I get sent back to a part of Mexico where I'm not even fucking from. So, yeah. And it's crazy because Santa Ana is literally like 60% undocumented. That's like saying 60% of the people who live in that city would get deported if they got, ascertained by the police, which is fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's
like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of even having a law?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of Latin American countries are coming from Latin America to Mexico and crossing,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like claiming if they deport one person, for every one person they deport, 10 more people are gonna come in.
Yeah.
It's like it's even gonna be more increasing, and that doesn't seem like a viable solution.
The solution is to give these people papers once they arrive in this country and give them the resources to succeed and to be able to live lives and give back to the economy. Immigrants are a net gain to the economy. The more people move and the more people go around and trade resources, the more our economy grows. This nativist perspective is not only racist, but it's also anti-growth. If you want societal growth, if you want more technology, more wealth in our economy, you should be against this shit.
Yeah, definitely. So.
And we unfortunately this show is based in Orange County, California, but you've probably seen the LA fires. We're gonna dive into that real quick right now.
When fire hydrants ran dry in the Pacific Palisades, it sparked a wave of criticism and even misinformation.
Because Karen Bass didn't fill the reservoirs. So all the fire reservoirs were not... So the fire trucks there, they couldn't pump water.
They cut the water off.
They don't have water.
Surveys show LA did have water, but amid widespread frustration and a report that a local reservoir in the Palisades was offline and empty due to repairs, California Governor Gavin Newsom issued a review of Los Angeles Water and Power. Here's how the water supply system works and what we know about why hydrants ran out of water at the height of the Palisades fire. About 2/3 of LA County's water comes from sources outside of LA. And because LA is surrounded by mountains and hills, much of that water has to be pushed up to higher elevations.
Well, water is heavy, relatively speaking, and so it takes energy.
Can you check the quality? No, on the monitor.
It's pretty good.
No, like.
Oh, is it the...
Like press the low gear. What was it on?
720.
Do 480.
To pump it upstream.
Eric Porce, director of the California Institute for Water Resources, says you can think of the system sort of like a tree with interconnected branches. There are big trunk mains that move water from a source, like a water treatment plant or a reservoir, and carry it to smaller distribution mains, which split off from the trunk. From there, the water is moved through even smaller pipes or lateral lines that carry water to homes, businesses, and fire hydrants. In some areas, tanks and reservoirs are placed throughout the system to help maintain pressure, because pressure is what pushes water into all of the nodes. But during the LA wildfires, officials said intense demand overwhelmed the system, which drained several tanks and meant that there wasn't enough pressure to push water to hydrants up in the Palisades.
So I want to make sure that you understand there's water in the trunk line. It just cannot get off the hill because we cannot fill it tank fast enough.
Officials say there wasn't a lack of water in LA, and data shows that major California reservoirs were at or above historic averages when the fires broke out. But in a letter to LA officials, Newsom called the ongoing reports of the loss of water pressure to some local hydrants during the fires and the reported unavailability of water supplies from the Santa Ynez Reservoir deeply troubling. However, a former city official told the LA Times that given the severity of the fires, the area still would have experienced serious drops in pressure even with that reservoir.
Those distribution systems aren't really designed to manage wildfire, especially wildfire that was spreading at this rate.
Meanwhile, state officials are pushing back against claims that environmental policies caused LA to have water problems, as some blamed Newsom and the state's efforts to protect species like the Delta smeltfish by restricting the flow of some water.
I mean, like, keep in mind, like, the name of the account who posts this bullshit, Roger Stone Jr., the Republican campaign official of Donald Trump, who got exposed for being a cuck many years ago, who has a tattoo of Richard Nixon on his back. The only people who really push this bullshit are fucking, like, crazy conservatives who think that, you know, like, and don't get me wrong, fuck Gavin Newsom. I hate Gavin Newsom. He's a politician, just like Donald Trump, just like Karen Bass, just like fucking JD Vance. They're all on the same fucking team. But to say that the fire happened because we're trying to save a local population of fish is fucking ridiculous. One of the biggest things about California and why we have such droughts is because we have the dumbest fucking infrastructure. In America, we just build our cities super car-centrically. So every single house in California and America needs a big old green grass lawn in front of it, which takes hundreds of gallons of water a day to maintain. And if you look at Los Angeles and Orange County, it is endless miles and miles and miles of suburbs when most big cities build upward. Instead, we build sideways and we just completely destroy all the forestation and all of the environment, because we have this idea of this white picket house with a big green lawn in front of it, rather than building things that are environmentally conscious. So because of the way that we structure our American cities, we end up having these crazy environmental issues because of it, because we aren't building with green technology in mind. We're building just to, you know, in a consumerist manner, to waste as much as possible. And then we get these kinds of results and we're like, fuck, why don't we have any water? Because we're watering 50 golf courses here in Southern California alone, which take up how many hundreds of thousands of gallons of water. So yeah, there's a lot of different factors as to why LA is burning, but LA is just the center of capitalism. It's like capitalism on steroids. So of course all these natural disasters are going to happen in this one place, because we built our cities in such a stupid way that this is the only natural the natural thing that's going to happen.
to Southern California.
You're just letting water run into the Pacific? Because of what? A fish that no one's heard of? Does anybody care about the...
And, Jesse Waterman isn't going to talk about the issues that I talk about because, the white picket fence and the green lawn are peak conservative values, right? But, he doesn't care about actual solutions to these issues. He cares about blaming it on the other side, blaming it on the little fish that Gavin Newsom wants to save when it has nothing to fucking do with that. So these two are just, the Democrats and the Republicans continue to put blame on each other while the problem does not get fixed and our cities continue to become worse and worse and worse.
Smelt fish.
Incoming President Trump posted he wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt by giving it less water. It didn't work, but didn't care about the people of California. Now the ultimate price is being paid.
So what's happened is a tragedy, and the governor has not done a good job.
What have
you done? What the fuck have you done, Donald Trump? What have you done for the state of California other than sit back and talk shit about Gavin Newsom and this and that? You've done fucking nothing for California. So you need to shut the fuck up. I've done more for California turning on my fucking stream and talking about this in front of people than you fucking have.
You say to the criticism that the state has mismanaged water supplies?
I think the facts speak for themselves. The fact that there is water in reservoirs beyond what is average traditionally for this time of year means that we are moving water when it is available. And I want to be very, very clear. The way that we are moving water and have been moving water and conditions that we're seeing in Southern California around access to that water, it has nothing to do with protected fish species.
And I apologize. This will be the last time that I pause, but although we do have access to water in California, this does not mean that California is water sustainable. We steal almost half of the water from Idaho, from Colorado, from Washington and Oregon just to be able to sustain California because we're in a constant state of drought here. Also because of global warming and because of the way that we structure our cities and whatnot. So even though we do have access to water does not mean that we live in a sustainable city.
Under the law.
Carla Namath and other California officials say one of the biggest issues was actually wind.
The fire is being fueled by a combination of strong winds and surrounding topography, which is making it extremely challenging for our personnel that are assigned to this incident.
Is there anything California or LA officials could have done better to mitigate the threat of these fires?
There will be lots of opportunity after this event to understand what happened, and we will learn from that, and especially in the context of climate.
And then you could go back to Notion.
So what is this video about?
This is about the insurance companies. So, as you guys might know, these fires have, ravaged California. Luckily, the vast majority of people who are affected are people who are already pretty wealthy. People who are able to live in the hills in California tend to be kind of wealthy. However, 90% of Americans still live with less than $500 to spare. So even if these are more wealthy households, any sort of destruction is still bad, right? People losing their houses, their belongings, their pets. Also, millions of animals have probably been displaced or killed by this fire as well, which is one of the saddest parts. But something that happened was that California and the insurance companies in California used to protect your house with fire insurance for instances like this where a house would catch on fire because of a forest fire, and then the insurance company will give you enough money to buy another house because obviously what the fuck are you going to do? Your house just lit on fire, right? But these insurance companies, these assholes like State Farm and Progressive and Allstate decided to get rid of everyone's fire insurance. So that when the fire does happen, that they're not liable, that they don't have to give these people houses because that would cost them too much money. So yeah, this is going to dive into that just a little bit.
It's been a week since Santa Ana winds, known by some Californians as devil winds, unleashed a fiery nightmare.
The devil winds? Have you heard that shit? Yeah, me too.
The wind was blowing at 128 kilometers per hour. You have hurricane force winds.
Yeah.
And you have a fire breaking out. All hell broke loose.
Flames are still bearing down on neighborhoods, while residents in others slowly return to their streets.
I thought I left a timestamp on this one. That's cool.
The best word for it would be apocalyptic. It's the complete decimation of an entire vibrant community, the most vibrant community within the city of Los Angeles.
In the middle of winter, at least 25 people have been killed, dozens still unaccounted for, more than 10,000 structures lost. Jessica Rogers is one of those in Pacific Palisades whose home has been reduced to ashes.
I live in the perfect American dream home with a white picket fence and cute little rose bush growing over the front door. The only thing that remains that would look anything like my home is the white picket fence.
I guess it sucks. Like I feel bad for her. Don't get me wrong.
What you see is you see all the way.
Anyone losing their house, it definitely sucks. You know, all the memories they made, but at least.
And you're gonna stay in a hotel for months, if not years, regardless of how much money you have. You know,
it's gonna take forever to rebuild, but at least they have the opportunity to stay in a hotel and, you know, at least keep moving forward rather than the other people that are affected.
And one of the problems that people don't mention is that we've lost thousands and thousands and thousands of houses. Do you know what renters are doing right now? Landlords are skyrocketing their rent up because of a lack of resources. They know that fuck, all these people lost their houses, and a lot of people, they're renting. So now when these people need to go and rent another house that's not fucking burnt to the ground, it's going to be 33% more expensive than it was before, making life even harder for Americans. And yeah, I saw it's like 150 or 180.
Yeah.
So yeah, good for my parents, but not good for me.
It's gonna be in the an average home in LA, say costs $10,000.
Yeah.
A lot of renters are like asking for 25.
Yeah.
So it's like increase of like, hey, like that's illegal, you know. You're not supposed to. Especially
but guess what we voted on for rent control? We voted against rent control, so we could just jack fucking rent up as high as possible, regardless of how many people lost their homes. So,
do you think there will be a stop to that, at least in the sense of like the government doing something about it?
No.
No. So.
No. Until enough people watch this stream and decided to fucking, you know, like link up and like really say something. No, the government officials will not fucking do anything until we make their lives hell. Until we make their lives miserable and unbearable, these fucking assholes will do nothing to help us out. And it's always been like that, and it will always be like that.
What was the government's plan to like help out? Do you know anything about that?
Well, I mean, like, we have like a certain amount of money allocated in, is it like FEMA? I forget what it stands for, but it's pretty much like whenever a natural disaster or like a large, you know, like any sort of disaster happens, it's a certain amount of funds and taxpayer dollars that are allocated towards being able to help those people in times of emergency. So right now, FEMA funds are helping people with temporary housing, with food, with water and stuff like that, right? But it's not nearly enough to actually, you know, make sure that everyone impacted by this has, you know, proper housing and whatnot. Shit, we can't even get fucking homeless people out of our streets. how the fuck are we gonna, be able to support people in times of natural disaster, so.
Yeah. Looking at the map.
No, well, I didn't know if you were gonna say something.
Oh, no, I was like...
Jessica faces the confronting reality that she may not have insurance coverage.
I brought all my paperwork with me. I went through all my paperwork, and when I couldn't find anything, I then went through all my bank accounts, and I still couldn't find anything. And I received a notice from my insurance broker saying, I haven't insured you since 2023.
Jessica is now seeking legal advice.
The reality is that it wasn't just homes that were destroyed. We have large homeowners associations that were taken down. We have large commercial buildings and large businesses that were taken down as well. So it's a destruction on a magnitude that I don't think anyone has seen here ever.
Insurance broker Nick Ramirez has more than 6 clients who have lost everything.
I have these little blue icons, these home icons. These are clients of mine that live in these areas, right? All 3 of these were total losses. In this area over here, here's another total loss over here on the left side, as you can see it.
When you see like the magnitude of how like big the fire is, you can see that that's like if any other place in California, that's like a city that like really falls.
More,
yeah. Like it's very. When you it's very eye opening when you start seeing like the actual effects rather than like hearing it by the news. It's just now like
I haven't been to LA since this happened, so I haven't been able to like understand the scope of it other than like people's social media posts. But like especially like the Topanga area, the Palisades area, like
the Altadena area, the area that is affected the most in the sense of like there's not a lot of high profile people that live there.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's still a nice neighborhood, but like the lady in her like cute little like $1.5 million house. Like if you live in a $1.5 million house, you don't have just millions and millions and millions of dollars just sitting around for you to buy another house. Like you're fucked. Like you don't have like fire insurance. Like what the fuck are you gonna do?
The sad part is like she assumed that like, hey, we have this covered,
She was paying for it.
I pay for this fire insurance. I pay for insurance in general, and the fact that.
But I get a sneaky little email at 8:00 at night one day saying that I don't have fucking coverage anymore, and then my house burns down, and the fucking insurance broker is like, hey, well, I told you weren't covered like a month before this happened, and it's like, what the fuck am I gonna do,
Why even pay for insurance at that point? I'll just save my money in that sense.
Exactly.
Save my money in that sense of buying a new house.
I mean, insurance in general is the biggest scam in America.
100%.
Insurance is just a way for the government to not have to provide people basic human goods like housing, Medicare, and all this other shit by middlemaning it through insurance and allowing insurance companies to turn a profit and provide it for people. But it's never enough, and because it's not a human right, they could do shit like this to us. So it's not the insurance company's fault. The insurance companies should not exist. It's the government's fault for allowing insurance companies to take over the responsibility that the government should have to provide people with these materials.
My question is, why do more like bigger insurance corporations take over rather than the local ones? Local insurance, because you don't really see that in California anymore. Like the local insurance. They've like kind of like flew out and like gone somewhere else.
It's the same reason why because the giant companies are able to undercut these little companies by so much money, just like how Amazon undercut the market on everything to be able to gobble up these companies. It's just because they're able to monopolize, because these corporations have so much power that they could take 5 years of losses when these local companies can't take losses. So that way they absorb these companies and become exponentially richer after those companies, dissipate and get absorbed by the bigger insurance company.
Yeah.
And that goes with any American company.
How are you dealing with the magnitude of this disaster?
It's like a war room in my office. It's really challenging.
In California, there are government controls on the amount insurers can charge for premiums. In recent years, many major insurers have pulled back on homeowners' coverage in high-risk wildfire areas.
The consequence of that, though, has been that insurers have not been allowed to price for the real risk that they face there. And what that means is a whole lot of insurers have just walked away from California and said it's too much, it's too hard.
They got out because of the concentration of risk. Simply put, they had too much risk in a very small areas that were really, really dangerous. Unfortunately, as you can see, there's...
This is the economic perspective on why we shouldn't cover. Never is the human perspective ever mentioned in why we should cover people's houses.
Massive amounts of losses that still haven't even been tallied yet.
We had a fire in Malibu a couple years ago, and from that point forward, State Farm and many other insurance companies backed out. Every time one of my neighbors would get dropped, they would call and they'd say, I just got dropped from my insurance. Do you know of an insurance?
With major insurers pulling out of high-risk
Mastro's
areas,
Oceanside.
more homeowners have turned to the California government coverage.
Well done.
It's meant to be the insurance policy of last resort.
That was good. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Fairplane had a lot of written exposure on the books, and they didn't have.
You could skip to the next part. Yeah. But plus, they go over the same topics. As long as you get the general gist of it, that's the main thing.
Insurance, Trump, environmental.
Oh yeah. See, at the very end, I leave the little timestamp.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. If it needs a timestamp, the ones that don't, I just leave it there. But for some of them, it takes a little while.
Okay, I was like, what are those numbers? I was curious on those numbers. I was like,
you good.
Maybe that's the time that you actually saw this video.
All good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. So what's this video about? Before we get to it.
A lot of people say, "Oh, this is the Democrats. This is the Democrats' fault, and Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass are the only people to blame. This is every American politician's fault. Trump is not gonna prevent this shit from happening. And like I said earlier, Donald Trump has done absolutely nothing for the people of California other than sit in his fucking office and tweet about this. So." All the people who are saying this is the Democrats' problem and this is that. No, this is a politician's problem. This is American politicians fucking over the American people. All of them working together and not doing anything to help us out. And we're going to look into some of Trump's policies, especially regarding the environment, and as to why this is only going to continue to happen and continue to happen even more as he's only going to deregulate environmental regulations, burn more coal, and allow even more fires to happen as we continue to heat up our climate.
Said he wants to get rid of virtually all of the Biden administration's climate change regulations intended to cut carbon emissions and to move away from fossil fuels. He's also called for the repeal of the Inflation Reduction Act. President Biden.
And this fool looks faded. Not even because he's Asian, but because his eyes just look so tired, bro. Like there's so much space between his eyebrows and his eyes. Like he just looks faded as fuck. Like,
I think it's his eye bags that are away. Like it's something like.
He just looks hella faded, bro. Like.
Hey, he's composed. If he's faded, I give him props. I can definitely not.
I mean, you just gotta sit there and read the teleprompter, like.
Yeah, I can definitely not form a sentence if he. I can't even read the prompt, you know.
Nah, bro, that's easy, bro. You just lock in. A word pops up. I say the word. It might be a little slow, but like.
No.
Biden's signature climate law. Even as the incoming administration's team drafts executive orders for the new president to sign on Inauguration Day, officials in the current administration are trying to lock in their policies. Matthew Daly covers climate, environment, and energy policy for the Associated Press. Matthew, from the first administration, what can we expect on climate change and environment?
Well, I think there's a lot to expect. Basically, everything that President Biden has tried to do President Trump is going to try to undo. And you mentioned the Inflation Reduction Act, which is a terribly named law, but it's a very wide-reaching law that basically tries to spend hundreds of billions of dollars to promote clean energy. And it has a lot of tax credits in there. And so I think the new president, wants to repeal them. I think he may have some trouble, though, because not only, is it in law right now, but a lot of the projects that are being developed for clean energy are in Republican-held districts.
And even if he has both chambers, the House and the Senate, you're going to have members wanting to protect their homes.
Right. Interestingly, a group of Republicans wrote the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, a letter saying, hey, leave this alone. We need these projects. There's a big solar plant in Georgia. There's battery plants in Kentucky. There's all over the country. There's a lot of clean manufacturing jobs. And I think that kind of, for jobs, is something that everybody wants to support.
Early on in the campaign, especially when he was campaigning in Michigan, Mr. Trump would criticize the move toward electric vehicles away from internal combustion. But now he's got Elon Musk on his side, right, the owner of Tesla. Is that going to change things, do you think?
Well, one thing that former President Trump has been known to not speak the truth, and one of the things that he has said repeatedly.
Next time I'll close it, so your OCD isn't freaking the fuck out.
Put in, but it's actually there is no. What's happened is that the EPA has much tighter emission standards to try to get cars to pollute less. And to do that, you could buy more EVs, but there is no mandate. But interestingly, his rhetoric on EVs has kind of softened since Elon Musk has become such a close friend. And he says, well, Elon supports it, so maybe he won't. He sort of thinks maybe he won't be as critical of it as he has been.
Yeah, I mean, politicians believe in nothing. They just, their friend with a lot of money tells them to do something and they do it. They don't have any consistent set of morals or values. They're just empty suits, empty brains. They stand for nothing. They believe in nothing. They're all fake fucking people. And God forbid our tax dollars actually go towards something good, going to clean energy, right? I'm more concerned about the hundreds of billions of dollars that go towards the military-industrial complex and blowing up Palestinian children. But we spend a couple $1 billion in fucking clean energy, and all of a sudden we care about how much fucking tax dollars we spend, while we have been getting cleaned out by paying taxes over 40% on our wages here in California for working class people. And the tiny bit that goes to clean energy, that's the fucking problem. It's hypocrisy. Yeah.
The United Nations climate talks get started on Monday. The Biden administration, of course, signed a number of international agreements dealing with climate change. What's going to happen to them?
Well, I think, the Paris Agreement, which was in 2015, in the first term, President Trump removed the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement, which is a global agreement across, all
we'll get into that later,
industrialized nations. And one of the first things that Biden did when he came in 4 years ago was to put us back in that agreement. Now we're going to, there's a lot of U-turns. I think that's what the global leaders have been complaining about. Like, when one administration comes in, they do one thing, the next one comes in and reverses it, and then you get another reversal. There's a lot of
This is a very stupid point that this fucking guy is mentioning. Just because policy changes from one side to another, that's not the issue. The issue is good policy versus bad policy. If I have to undo a shitty policy 1,000,000 times, I'm not at fault for undoing that shitty policy. The problem is the shitty policy being put into fucking place. If I have to continue to fight for the things that I believe in, for good things rather than bad things, I'm going to continue to fight for that, regardless of how many times I have to, reverse a certain law or procedure. We should be pointing the finger at the people who are advocating for bad things. That's the issue that we have.
Sawing back and forth, and global climate agreements are one of the prime examples of that. We're going to be removing ourselves from the Paris Agreement, no question about it.
A lot of what President-elect Trump wants to undo in the Biden administration are regulations, rules and regulations. How easy is it to unravel those?
Well, I think we found out the first time around that it's not that easy. And in fact, there was some fear among environmentalists that maybe he learned from his first term, because there's a lot of regulations that he tried to undo that the environmental groups challenged in court, and then they won and Trump lost. And they think now that maybe with 4 years of experience, he may be more adept at doing that. But the truth is, for better or worse, these regulations are hard to unwind. And Biden found that in his case when he was trying to undo some of the things that Trump did. There's just an administrative, you've got public hearing, you've got public notice, you've got time. Everything takes a while. Sort of in the government, there's just nothing moves quickly.
And what's the
That's
Biden
true.
administration doing to try to
lot of legislation,
lock in what they
a lot of bureaucracy.
One thing that they're doing is parceling out these grants under the Inflation Reduction Act. They've been doing, and also the bipartisan infrastructure law, which was approved in 2021. They're just every day, every week, every hour, it seems like they're pumping out press releases and grants, and to the point where we really can't cover them all because there's so many of them. And then just the other day, President Biden was in Baltimore talking about another program called Clean Ports. And he's trying to give tons of money to ports around the country. And I think they will be able to do some of this, but there's only so much that they can do in the next, 2 months to get it out the door.
So how much can the incoming Trump administration really undo and get rid of things that the Biden administration has done?
Well, a lot of administrative things they can undo. And I think one of the things that's going to be a big challenge in the climate world is that the Environmental Protection Agency is probably going to lose a lot of staff. That's what happened under the first term. People just don't believe, if they think the president doesn't believe in the mission of the agency, then they quit. And so you get a big brain drain, and then they just are not replaced. And also, if you do not fund programs to their full capacity, even if you don't, undo them formally, you just don't give them enough money, they kind of die on the vine. So there's ways that you can do it sort of underneath the surface.
What's the effect on policy, but also on the environment, of having this whipsaw effect? President Trump undoing things that President Obama had done, Mr. Biden undoing things that Trump had done, and now reverse.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a problem. I think what the advocates of clean energy say is that meanwhile, the whole time, we're getting more solar power, we're getting more wind power, and interestingly, both sides support nuclear power. So there's sort of the industry and the kind of chugs along, but on the margins, things change a lot and just the emphasis changes. And then
Republicans don't give a fuck about nuclear energy. Donald Trump is not going to build any nuclear plants in America. All he's going to do is fucking do more fracking and burn more fucking coal.
Beyond that, the scientists are saying we only have so much time to reduce our carbon emissions because climate change is real. Anybody who's seen, the fires, the floods, you name it, the wrath of Mother Nature has been coming at the world, and I think you can't really ignore that.
Matthew Daly of the Associated Press, thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
And both Republicans and Democrats are culpable of this because we've had Democrat leadership, we've had Republican leadership, but every year our climate gets hotter and these natural disasters get worse and worse, as we see in Los Angeles right now. Fires are only going to get worse and worse until we actually, as a people, come together and demand change and immediately flip to green energy with no compromise, no room for middlemaning, immediate change to green energy as soon as possible. But until the people make their move and make a government which actually represents the American people rather than just the richest of the rich, that will never happen. You can skip the next one. That one's just the Paris Accord. Obviously, Donald Trump wants to take us out of the Paris Accord. Biden reinstated us, but I think that Trump is just gonna take us out of the Paris Accord again. Obviously, he doesn't give a shit about adhering to any global.
Can you remind the folks what the Paris Accord is?
Paris Accord is pretty much like the international agreement to begin moving on to green energy sources and renewable energy rather than continuing to burn coal and to use,
fossil fuels?
Fossil fuels, yeah.
Alright. Do you know what it is?
And then, you could press the California wildfire results. There's just a little video showing how much stuff is actually burned. It's really, really quick, so we'll move on to the next section pretty soon. No, I just don't think there's any audio for this.
Damn. That's just.
And not to mention, I don't live in Los Angeles, but all that,
Nothing.
yeah. Wait, does that mean the pink and the black house got burnt? No, that's in Santa Monica.
Damn, dude.
All the dust and the ash that got burnt from this, everyone in California has been inhaling this fucking shit fucking air.
Of course, yeah.
It's been covering our cars, it's been going into the lungs of our animals, it's been just coating everything in just soot. It's gross.
It's just that's the only house that was saved out of this.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised.
How do you even go back to live there, bro? That's crazy. Like, I bet you could throw some crazy house parties in there though, because like you don't have any neighbors now. Like,
yeah.
No noise complaints.
Wouldn't be surprised if like a private firefighters were in this area just protecting this house.
Damn.
You know.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's just sad to see like, hey, like.
What a waste.
I mean, these are really wealthy homes, but still, like.
Still, people who don't have money have to give up their homes to now have these wealthy people live in their homes. As these landlords jack the fucking rent up, now the wealthy people are gonna go into the less wealthy homes, and these people who can't afford rent no more gotta go into the streets. So we're gonna get more homeless people because of this, even if it didn't burn the houses of the homeless.
Yeah.
And then lots of animals got affected by this in kind of the worst way. If you want to be able to go and do and donate or do something in your community, the ASPCA, Goodwill, Red Cross, there's a ton of different organizations helping people out in Los Angeles right now. So
I mean, around like 400, 500 dogs and like cats have been going to like animal shelters.
That's it?
No, like per shelter though.
Oh.
Per shelter.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a lot of the reasons why they abandoned the animals was because the firefighters wouldn't let them in. The cops wouldn't let them in because it was like, oh, the fire's still on, and people like have been trying to get their animals and like have been. I know this one case where like this one guy wanted to get his cat.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, like he even bought a bike to get his cat, and the cops would not allow him.
Yeah.
Until and he was literally like pleading for them, crying because it's like his animal, he cares about him, and it's just like it took like 2 days after to get his cat back.
Yeah.
It's just like all the stories of like them leaving them not because they don't care, but like because they don't have that.
We can't you can't
endanger yourself either.
Yeah.
But it's just
allowing a human being dying over trying to save a dog or a cat. Like, yeah, it's sad for a pet to die, but we can't risk a whole person dying because they want to save their pet.
I just never understood why the horses had to be like caged in, during the fire.
These people are fucking idiots.
Let them go, they're smart. They're like, horses are really smart.
And they're fast. They're fucking fast as fuck. Like, they're literally horses. They run on mountains and hills. Like, that's what they do. Like,
you saw that one famous video where like the one horse came to save like his horse friends.
Really?
Yes.
What the fuck? Damn, you should have fucking included it, bro. What the fuck?
It's like the most cutest thing because like the horse saw the cops. And then, like, he turned around and he led them to the other horses. And once he saw the horses were, like, right, like, they saw him physically. And then he was like, okay. And he, like, did, like, a little hoof. And then he was, like, he turned back and then led the rest of the horses out of the fire. And it's just, like, it just shows how smart, like, animals are. And, like, this is not their first time.
Like, us human beings, we're dumb. Like, we can't run fast. We don't know when things are dangerous. We burn ourselves on hot things, but animals, like, they know that a fire is happening. They know like how the fuck to escape. Like, they're literally like
they're
nature.
Like,
it's literally nature. Like,
escape, dude. Like, you saw
They don't have a prefrontal cortex, which makes them think like, oh, maybe I should stay at the house and save my jewelry, right? The horse doesn't give a fuck. The horse is like, wow, it's like 0.5 degrees hotter than it normally is. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Like animals aren't stupid like we are. Like, they know what's up. Like,
yeah, no, it's just, yeah, that's, I agree. Anyways, next video, what's, is this more like the support?
Yeah, this is just a page to find resources.
Any resources people should like come over here.
Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority. It has a big ol' sheet of links and whatnot to be able to find different resources for different things and whatnot. Like the FEMA assistance, Red Cross, Hotel Association, because people are being housed in hotels and stuff like that. All that sorts of stuff.
It's really nice to see, like, as a community, like, everyone helping out, you know, especially when everyone lost their whole entire life, their belongings and stuff. It's just like the whole community, not even LA, but like counties far and away from LA helping out.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, shout out to Chef Marco and Jill. The restaurant that I work at decided to donate 20% of sales to the fire result, and when they announced that, another 20 restaurants decided to like join the cause, and I think $25,000 were raised in total. I know we donated $2.5K on this Tuesday, so $25,000 got raised and whatnot. So it's cool to see people actually giving a fuck and, you know, donating and trying to make a change and whatnot. So
yeah, and a lot of firefighters coming from different places.
Yeah.
Different backgrounds, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, all the prisoners getting paid 5 cents to go. Oh, now that you brought it up, yeah, we'll talk about it.
But I think I had to mention like,
I forgot to write it down, to be honest with you, but because that's a whole different thing. So if we remember, one of the things that we were able to vote on this year was should we allow slavery in California?
I do remember you talking about it.
We talked about this, how California voted yes on slavery. Those slaves who we kept in captivity were people fighting our fires. Inmates in California were forced to fight fires for $5 rather than minimum wage, which is $15, right? So these people are going out, saving people's lives, saving their pets, saving their houses, and getting paid less than minimum fucking wage because they're not considered human beings by the state because they're fucking slaves. So thank you to all the prisoners and people in the California state penitentiary system who went out and saved lives and saved houses and communities and didn't get paid shit for it.
Yeah, there's a little article about it. I mean, it's well over a third of the firefighters currently fighting the fire.
A third?
Yeah, a third. Bro.
I didn't know that, bro. That's crazy.
A lot of 1,000 people, dude, fighting the firefighters. And it's not like they have the safest job either.
1,000 incarcerated people.
Yes.
They fucking die. Like
they have one, like, they're doing, like, things that the machines, the boulder machines can't get to.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the ones who like
they do the most dangerous jobs, huh? They're like, oh fuck it, if they die, it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah. So it just shows how like they're even like more in risk in their lives, and it's like it shows like they're not even being well compensated. It's like
at all.
Yeah, but I feel like they very much care because like a lot of people show them love, and it's changed in that it's changed that people give them dignity to like, hey, like you're doing something very important. And I think as a prisoner, especially when you're looked down upon, it shows a lot of growth.
Yeah,
but it's still like okay,
like they're actively being a member of their community. If they get out of prison, why not give them jobs in their local fire departments and give them proper pay? Why are we wasting these people's lives and wasting our tax dollars by imprisoning them when they're skilled at fighting fires? They literally have a job to go to once they get out of prison, but we keep them in prison and we keep them underpaid. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It really doesn't. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot about that.
Anyways,
how do we legislate against this? Immediately call for the banning of all fossil fuels and only renewable energy. If we want our planet to exist, we need this to happen immediately. If this doesn't happen, we will no longer exist as a planet. Protest, organize, make all politicians' lives hell. Whether it's Karen Bass, Governor Newsom, Donald Trump, JD Vance, all these people, make their lives fucking hell. Make their lives miserable until something happens. Or until they step out of power and allow people to actually, be in control of their own destinies.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to nationwide news. Donald Trump is going to become the president soon. And so Mark Zuckerberg went on to Joe Rogan to talk about getting rid of the fact checker that has been on Facebook. Fact checker is pretty much the service that Facebook uses to differentiate bullshit from non-bullshit. For instance, things that the little warning under your YouTube video or under your Facebook link that says, hey, ivermectin actually does not cure COVID. We're getting rid of that. So now President Trump can say whatever the fuck he wants and not get fact checked.
Is it this view?
Yeah. You could go to 35 seconds. If you do Control Alt and then 0035 or just 35, it will go straight to 35. Because I still have the plugin for the timestamps.
Control Alt 00.
Well, once it loads up. Well, you gotta play the video.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Just try it so you get
really
used to it.
Worried from the beginning.
Press Control
about
Alt at the same
basically
time.
Becoming. There are very clear hoaxes that there's it's not like we're not parsing speech about whether something is slightly true or slightly false, like Earth is flat, things like that, right? So that was sort of the original intent. We put in place the system and it just sort of veered from there. I think to some degree, it's because some of the people whose job is to do fact checking, a lot of their industry is focused on political fact checking, so they just kind of veered in that direction. And we kept on trying to basically get it to be what we had originally intended, which is just...
And there's no such thing as political fact checking. It's either it's science or it's not science. There's no, this is a political fact and this is a non-political fact. No, there's science and there's not science, and there's no in between. There's no gray area between this. It's just, it's there's right and there's wrong, and people who believe in saying things that aren't scientific will make you believe that saying a fact or saying a scientific thing is political in a one way or another when it's really not. Is it political to believe that gravity exists? Is it political to believe 2 times 2? No, it's fucking not. It's fucking science and it's mathematics. And the more we politicize math and science and education, the stupider we get as a population. This is very dangerous. Fascism is based off of anti-intellectualism. You good?
There's echo.
It's because we have 2 mics in the room.
Yeah.
I will work on that. I'm sorry if there's an echo. I'll try and speak a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
Is it really noticeable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even when we talk at the same time. It's more when we it's just in general.
Yeah.
It's noticeable.
We'll figure it out. We'll get it fixed. Try pointing your mic a little bit more towards you, away from me.
Just like this. Hold it.
Como quieras.
That's how I'm gonna see. Is this better? Or?
I'll try and speak a little quieter.
Yeah. Okay, anyways. Hopefully this is...
Yeah.
Not sure if this is gonna help.
We'll go back. We'll watch the whole stream and whatnot. Like we said, we're still working on it. We still have a lot of technical things and production things that we're working on. But we're just trying to show up every Thursday and really get this thing going. But we'll make it nice and smooth eventually. So it will be it will be a nice quality product for you guys. So I apologize, and I appreciate you guys sticking through the imperfections that I have right now. So
Me too.
thank you, King.
Hopefully that wasn't an echo, but you know.
Just keep going. There's not much you could do.
Yeah, no. Anyways.
Sigue.
You know, it's not, the point isn't to like judge people's opinions. It's to provide in this layer to kind of help fact check some of the stuff that seems the most extreme, but it just, you know, it was just never accepted by people broadly. I think people just felt like the fact checkers were too biased.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily
Science
even
is
so much
biased.
in what they ruled, although sometimes I think people would disagree with that. A lot of the time, it was just what types of things they chose to even go and fact check in the first place. So,
like the fact that ivermectin is a horse dewormer and is not effective against COVID. Very biased against Donald Trump, because that's what Donald Trump said, and what Trump says is right, regardless of what science says.
I kind of think, like, after having gone through that whole exercise,
No, you don't have to hold it, dog. I'm just saying, like, tilt it more toward.
I don't know, it's
like,
something out of like, you know,
like
1984,
this?
one of these
Okay.
books where it's just like it really is a slippery slope, and
Yeah.
it just got
I
to a
feel
point
like it's
where
annoying
it's just
like
okay,
that
this
now.
is destroying so much trust, especially in the United States, to have this program. And I guess it was probably about a few years that I really started coming to the conclusion that we were going to need to change something about that. COVID was the other big one, where that was also very tricky, because, you know, at the beginning it was, you know, it's like a legitimate public health crisis, you know, in the beginning, and it's
in the beginning, as if people aren't still dying of COVID right now. COVID is no longer a public health crisis because Trump is now president, and Mark Zuckerberg said it's no longer a public health crisis. So
COVID is cured.
COVID is cured.
Most ardent First Amendment, you know, defenders. The Supreme Court has this clear precedent that's like, all right, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. There are times when, if there's an emergency, your ability to speak can temporarily be curtailed in order to get an emergency under control. So I was sympathetic to that at the beginning of COVID. It seemed like, okay, you have this virus. It seems like it's killing a lot of people. I don't know, like, we didn't know at the time how dangerous it was going to be. So at the beginning, it kind of seemed like, okay, we should give a little bit of deference to the government and the health authorities on how we should play this. But when it went from, you know, 2 weeks to flatten the curve to, you know, and like in the beginning it was like, okay, there aren't enough masks aren't that important, to then it's like, oh no, you have to wear a mask, and, you know, all the, like, everything was shifting around.
Science never changed. Wearing a mask reduces the spread of any disease, whether it's the common cold or COVID. That hasn't fucking changed. The president has changed, which is why you're saying this, Mark Zuckerberg. But the science on this has not changed, and it hasn't changed. Mark Zuckerberg, you do not give a single fuck about free speech. You don't. You putting a little fact-checking bubble under the bullshit that Donald Trump says is free speech. You're acting in free speech by fact-checking his shit. Saying that this is not scientifically correct is not taking away the president's free speech. You banning people on your platforms, however, is against free speech. I believe in free speech. I believe I could go on my webcam, on my podcast, and I should be able to say whatever the fuck I want, as long as I don't tell people, oh, go kill this person. If I say that and someone gets killed, that should not be allowed. But if I want to go call you a piece of shit and a dumb fuck, I should be allowed to say that. If I want to say 2 + 2 = 5, I should be allowed to say that. But people should also be allowed to say, hey, that dumb fuck said 2 + 2 = 5. Everyone laugh at him because he's a fucking idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about. So, fact checking should be fine. You could check anyone's facts. You're just using science and, you know, making sure that science is what prevails. But getting people off your platform is anti-scientific and anti-free speech. Mark Zuckerberg, you don't give a fuck about free speech. You just want to suck Donald Trump's dick, and that's what it is.
Yo, before you press play again, Thumpy505 says hey.
Fool, that's you.
Oh.
Fool, because I know. Because I saw your Twitch account. I appreciate you. Like, I really appreciate you. But, like, I saw it, like, a while ago. I was like, damn, fool. But I was like, damn, you're real as fuck for that. I appreciated that. But, yeah, I figured it out because you left it open, and I saw, like, the name above your Twitch.
When did they leave it open?
I think last time we streamed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's always funny.
Yeah, but I believed it for a really long time. But yeah.
You want to update the audience on what happened, like what's going on right now?
My homie, my co-host, he was I had a chatter in my chat for the longest of time who was from Mesa, Arizona.
New Mexico.
No, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Who would constantly chat, and he would say stuff, and he was like the one person who was like consistently chatting in my chat, and like it was one of the things that helped me like really stay on top of it and stream consistently. And when I streamed with him, I saw his he opened his Twitch, but his username was the Thumby505. So I realized that it was actually him all along supporting me. So Alejandro, my co-host, he's the realest of homies. He's I appreciate him a lot. So
it's just funny that you caught me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna get other people on, and now we're both doing it. So we'll get other people on.
Is that why you didn't laugh at the J.D. Vance thing?
No, like I laughed at it, but that shit pissed me off. Like I was like, "Fuck you, fool!" Like
that was a good joke right there.
That shit triggered me. Not gonna lie, I was like, "Fool, this better not be a running joke in the chats." I swear to God.
Anyways, let's continue.
It's become very difficult to kind of follow, and this really hit the most extreme, I'd say, during the Biden administration when they were trying to roll out the vaccine program. And now I'm generally like pretty pro rolling out vaccines. I think on balance the vaccines are more positive than negative, but I think that while they're trying to push that program, they also tried to censor anyone who is basically arguing against it. And they pushed us super hard to take down things that were honestly were true, right? I mean, they basically pushed us and said,
Wait, how does he know it's true? It's like it's kind of biased.
Yeah.
It's just like
who are you to say it's true?
Yeah, like as much as who are we to question it, but who are you to say it's true?
Yeah, you're just some fucking nerd.
And at the same time, just the way he talks, bro, I just don't buy that he believes what he's saying.
Nah, he doesn't believe in anything.
He
believes in power.
Yeah.
Power and profit.
Says that vaccines might have side effects. You basically need to take down.
Don't show him in the light.
And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. Like, we're clearly not going to do that. I mean, that is
chewing cashews.
Arguably
who is they? Who's telling you to take down things that have
the Jews. It's the Jews.
It was people in the Biden administration. I think it was. I wasn't involved in those conversations.
I don't know, medical professionals that work for the government.
But I think it was.
How difficult is that to not be involved in those conversations directly? That's got to be strange too, right? Because you're running the company, but there's clearly you're moderating at scale that's beyond the imagination. The number of human beings you're moderating is fucking insane. Like, what's a Facebook? How many people use it on a daily basis? Forget about how many overall. Like, how many people use it regularly?
It's 3.2 billion people use one of our services every day.
Bro, what's up with his face? Like, he doesn't know how popular Facebook is. Joe
Rogan learns the popularity of Facebook. Wait till he learns how many people watch his fucking stream.
It's wild.
More than a third of the planet. That's so crazy.
Yeah, and it's
almost half of Earth.
Well, on a monthly basis, it is probably half. Of it. But
I want to say that though for There's a lot of like hypercritical people that are conspiracy theorists and think that everybody's a part of some cabal to control them. I want you to understand that whether it's YouTube or all these...
By the way, the cabal is controlling us. The cabal is Mark Zuckerberg. The cabal is Donald Trump. The cabal is Gavin Newsom. There is a cabal controlling us working class people from rising up and taking power. We are being controlled. Joe Rogan, you're part of the cabal. You're platforming Mark Zuckerberg to push his fucking bullshit on your stream. There is a cabal, and we should fight against it. It's not the Jews, it's these fucking assholes.
And whatever place that you think is doing something that's awful, it's good that you speak, because this is how things get changed, and this is how people...
Hannah says hi.
Hi, Hannah. Thank you for tapping in. Hopefully it's entertaining so far.
Hopefully there's no echo. She said, make me laugh, please. I had a bad day. Yesterday.
I know, I heard. I'm sorry. Keep watching. Hopefully it will make you laugh. But we can't force it.
We'll find out that people are upset about content moderation and censorship. But moderating at scale is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
What we were talking the other day about the number of videos that go up every hour on YouTube, and it's bananas. It's bananas. It's like to try to get a human being that is reasonable, logical, and objective that's going to analyze every video. It's virtually impossible. It's not possible. So you got to use a bunch of tools. You got to get a bunch of things wrong, and you have also people reporting things. And how much is that going to affect things? You could have mass reporting because you have bad actors.
And you didn't want any more.
Decides we're going to attack this video because bad one's going to take it down.
I love cashews.
There's
Cashews
so
are
much
delicious.
going on. I want to put that in people's heads before we go on. Like, understand the kind of numbers that we're talking about here. Now understand you have the pandemic, and then you have the administration that's doing something where I think they crossed the line, where it gets really weird, where they're saying what you were saying. They were trying to get you to take down vaccine side effects, which is just crazy.
This is not true. You could Google vaccine allergies and things will pop up. If you go to your doctor and you ask your doctor, hey, are people allergic to the vaccine? They'll tell you, yes, a small amount of people are allergic to the vaccine. This information isn't being hidden. This conservative narrative that they're hiding this information is fucking bullshit. Doctors know that not everyone reacts well to a vaccine. And, them pretending that big government is hiding this from us is fucking bullshit. It's a lie. They're hiding other things like where our taxes go. They're hiding, how much money they're stealing from us, but they're not hiding whether vaccines can have bad reactions in people. Just because 1 out of every 150,000 people might have a bad reaction to the vaccine doesn't mean we should tell everyone, hey, the vaccines are unusable and they're dangerous, because that's not the case, because they save more lives than they harm.
Yeah, so, like you're saying, it's so complicated, this system, that I could spend every minute of all of my time doing this and not actually focused on building any of the things that we're trying to do. AI, glasses, like the future of social media, all that stuff. So, I get involved in this stuff, but in general, we have a policy team. There are people who I trust. They're the people who are kind of working on this on a day-to-day basis. And the interactions that I was just referring to, a lot of this is documented. Because Jim Jordan and the House had this whole investigation.
Yeah, Jim Jordan.
Into the kind of government censorship around stuff like this. And we produced all these documents, and it's all in the public domain. Basically, these people from the Biden administration would call up our team and scream at them and curse, and it's these documents it's all kind of out there.
Did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
There are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, and they're And basically, it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They wanted us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're gonna see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, like this sort of like class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. We just said no. We're not going to take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are true. And then at some point, I guess I don't know. It flipped a bit. I mean, Biden, when he gave some.
You don't have to take down the anti-intellectual bullshit, but you could still fact check it. So you saying that fact checking is no longer going to be in use is saying that these things are true. These things are correct.
Statement at some point. I don't know if it was a press conference or just.
Does this fool look like an Edgar, which is white? You got the the chain and the black shirt. Come on, dude.
What with the perm?
With the perm too, yeah.
For.
I'm just saying.
He's been trying to. He's had his little like glow up. He's cool now.
He fights judo now, right?
Jiu-jitsu. He's a jiu-jitsu fighter, so he's cool now. He's in touch with people and things. He talks to other human beings.
That's true.
He's normal. Swear he's normal.
Some journalists where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. And I don't know, then like all these different agencies and branches of government basically just like started investigating and coming after our company. It was brutal. It was brutal.
Wow.
Aw,
Yeah.
poor baby. Aw, they came
Which is
after
a
my
massive
billion-dollar
poison,
company.
Yeah,
Aw,
well, I mean,
I can't be a billionaire. Be left alone.
This is the thing about all this. It's like they suppressed so much information about things that people should be doing, regardless of whether or not you believe in the vaccine. Regardless, put that aside. Metabolic health is.
Oh, but we're cool with Elon Musk, who bans anyone who says trans rights on his fucking platform. But we care about censorship here on Joe Rogan. You could exit off of this. I think we got the point across.
Ask you when we're gonna.
Yeah. You can make the call too. Once the point gets across, you can make the call too.
Yeah.
But these billionaires like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, they don't believe in anything. They just believe that I have to suck the dick of whoever is my current president, whether that's Donald Trump, whether that's Joe Biden, and my policies are going to align their policies. They're all on the same team. It's us versus them. It's me, Alejandro, the viewers watching this stream, against Joe Rogan, against Elon Musk, against Mark Zuckerberg, against Donald Trump, against JD Vance, against Gavin Newsom. It's fuck all these people. They're all on the same team, and it's us versus them.
Big facts. Anyways, yeah.
This is a short one.
This is a short one?
This is a short one. Just so you think that I'm not hating on only the Republicans, I want you to know that I hate Joe Biden, I hate the fucking Democrats and Kamala Harris just as fucking much. And this is...
How can you hate this face, though? Come on.
True, it is kind of like mean. Like,
yeah.
It's like hating on the Down syndrome kid.
We're getting them help right now, as you all know. People impacted by these fires are going to receive one-time payment of $770.
Let's go. 770.
Fire resolved. Fire eliminated. Yep, that's all. That's you could go on to the next session.
Problem solved, dude.
Fire over. Los Angeles fire extinguished.
That's literally a good ass meal right there. That's a good ass meal.
Ooh, literally, me and you can spend that in a day just eating food.
You can literally forget about what's going on for like 2 hours. Honestly. But that's just one time only too?
Yeah, one time. The lady who lost her house earlier, she could just buy another house for $770.
I mean, at that point, you can like buy a night in the hotel, 2 nights, 3 nights.
Like 3 nights.
That's a good.
Maybe it has a pool.
4-star hotel too, like.
It depends where. Like West Hollywood, 2 nights.
Oh my God.
You get it in like I don't know, like South LA, maybe 3 nights.
Oh damn, dude.
Hotel Farah, 3 nights.
That's just. It shows how much resources we have, you know. 770.
Yeah, all the how much did you pay in taxes last year? Oh, you made like $5.
I made like very small amounts. I think I made like, this is when I was working too, like halfway point working, like half of the year. I made like 12, 14.
14,000?
Yeah, like anywhere between 12 to 14.
I thought it was less than that, to be honest.
It's because like I was working halfway of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Not even halfway, like 3 months.
Yeah.
Like 3 to 4 months of like the year, and I just managed to get that. But
I had 3 jobs last year. I made $55,000
with 3 jobs.
With 3 jobs, plus tips. I work as a server, so I make tips too. I don't report them. But according to the government, I made $55,000 working 3 jobs.
As a single male, dude, that's.
I paid $4,000 in taxes.
Yeah, that's right.
I paid $4,000 in taxes. If my house burnt, you know how much I'd get back? $770. One-time payment of $770.
Hey, that we know of. There could be a second time payment. We can't make that.
Once Trump goes into office, a second time payment for sure.
Dude,
it's gonna be like he's gonna make it $771. Trump is gonna get into office and he's gonna be like a second time payment of $771 just to one up this fool.
Dude, it's EDD, bro. Literally. But yeah.
Oh, you could go to the next one. That's it. All. That's it for like.
I don't like the too long of the videos.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
You're in charge of the flow too. Like if it gets like too like long or whatnot, like.
I was just getting bored.
Yeah.
I was getting bored of that particular video.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna go into more in depth, but it was just the same shit.
I mean, it's the most important thing,
And also things that I wanted to talk about. Donald Trump was voted into presidency by less than 25% of the people who live in America. Less than 50% of registered voters voted. Less than, probably like 70% of people who live in America are registered to vote. So, and half of those people voted for Trump. So about like 18 to 22% of the people who live in these borders voted for Donald Trump. He is not our president. We did not democratically elect this person. So let's get rid of him. Fuck him. Why the fuck should we listen to someone who wasn't voted on by the majority of the people who live in this border?
Do you mean border like in California or like...
in America.
Oh, in America.
In America.
He was... less than 25%. I thought he won the population vote. Can you explain that a little bit? Like the difference between him winning the population vote and then this percentage?
Switch to your cam and search amount of votes Trump received and then search how many human beings live in America. 2024.
Yeah, I don't see it. Spell that shit. The recap. Scan it. Alright, we'll do scan. I swear, I thought he won like
maybe like 30.
I literally thought he won like 5 mil, people.
5 million?
Yeah.
What?
So,
how many people live in America? 10 million?
I thought it was like 2 million, you know?
2
I'm not good
2
with,
million
like-
people live in America.
Yeah. Should I just put the map?
Oh, yeah. Oh, go up, go up, go up, go up. Oh.
Yeah, dude.
77 million. Now
Yeah.
look up how many human beings live in America.
Oh, I mean... I honestly don't know. Yeah.
Oh, so 346 million. So 77, and let's say 30 million are babies. 30 million are like little babies who can't fucking vote.
Hey, they should vote, you know? If they're living, you know, babies should vote.
I think that, like, I don't know, like, if they're smart, like, I don't know, like, 14-year-olds should be able to vote. I think 14-year-olds are more qualified to vote than 80-year-olds.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that
at that point we just peak in life, you know, at 14.
Yeah.
Intelligence, like curiosity, and like imagination, you know.
So 300. Let's just say 300 million divided by 77 million. It's about 25%, like 28%. So 28% of Americans voted for Donald Trump.
So like in total, 50%, half of America voted in this election. Yeah.
Voting should be mandatory. Voting, like, if you want to be able to use the metro or be able to use our social security or go to university in America, you should have to vote. You should also get paid to vote. Don't get me wrong. You should get paid for your time when you vote and you research voting.
Yeah.
But it should be mandatory. Politics is something that needs to be mandatory if we want to self-actualize as a society and as human beings. If we don't, we will forever be ruled by these fucking oligarchs who just ruin our lives. Until we 100% are in control of our own destiny as human beings, we will always be controlled by these fucking assholes.
I just didn't realize how bad it was, and like people not voting.
Yeah.
That's like really bad.
Most people don't vote.
Yeah.
Like, the majority of people don't vote. I think it should be mandatory. I think it should be 100% mandatory.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we can actually have like an actual scale of what people, the president they elected, you know, rather than just half of the population. It's not realistic, you know.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Lastly, what's going on in the world? What's going on globally?
Yeah, what is going on globally?
Well, Trump wants to do colonialism and wants to invade other countries before he's even gotten into office. So
He's doing a vintage thing.
yeah, OG Republican. We haven't seen colonialism in a cool minute. He was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna bring it back," you know.
And he's gonna make it look dope too.
He's gonna make it look sick, fool. by colonizing the most weak country possible.
Yeah.
Greenland.
Greenland, bro.
Watch, he's gonna colonize Antarctica next.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you. Many things are happening that are exciting.
Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
What is the strategy?
Yeah, I can't assure you. You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this. We need them for economic security. It might be that you'll have to do something. Look, the Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. China! And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion.
Your position is clear, but have you directed your staff to take specific actions to drop plans? And can you elaborate again? You didn't rule out military coercion.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time.
What kind of purposes do you think he needs it for?
I don't know, drilling, sucking all the oil out. Just drilling as much fucking oil and burning as much of it as he can. It's the only thing he wants that shit for.
Are you also considering military force to annex and acquire it?
No, economic force. Because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget.
Yeah, the cut has to go first, then America. You know,
he's gonna unite all of America, Mexico, America, and Canada, and Greenland. Just America.
It's Mexico, America, Mexican American, Mexico American.
Mexico American.
Yeah.
I forgot to include that video. Well, we can look it up though.
Yeah.
At the end, we'll look it up.
It's a nice ring to it, you know.
We basically protect
Gulf
Canada.
of Comexerica.
It's sort of the opposite of Biden, where he's closing everything up, essentially getting rid of $50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
That's hard, bro. That's hard.
The Gulf of America.
Never been thought.
Cool, but like, what if China just decides to invade us and is like, well, we just needed to invade America for the sake of economic security. Invading other countries and taking advantage of them is never acceptable, regardless of what their excuse is. Because they're all excuses. Like, we don't need to. We just want to do it because he wants to suck more life out of the rest of the world and take all the money for himself.
Just have that power, ultimately.
Yeah, because the basis of Trump's economic policy is nativism. What Trump believes in is he believes in extorting every other country on earth and making them as poor as possible so we can make as much money from them. Which is great if you are a white supremacist. It's great if you believe that the only people who deserve to be happy and healthy and have a good economy are Americans. But I believe that we all live on this earth. We're all citizens of this earth, and all human beings deserve the same opportunity to be successful and to be rich. But Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump only thinks Americans should have the right to make a lot of money and be successful. And he'll use his power, being the most powerful country on earth, to make the lives of other people worse because he wants to steal all the money from Latin America and Europe and Africa and keep it for himself.
Which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name. Before it started, I can tell you that. The deal could have been made just by an average deal maker. Deal could have been made on that. And Mexico has to stop allowing millions of people to pour into our country. They can stop them. And we're going to put very serious tariffs on Mexico and Canada, because Canada, they come through Canada too, and the drug.
Oh, they could stop them, but we can't, huh?
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
That are coming through are at record numbers. Record numbers.
You could you can YouTube the Mexican president's response to this.
Hey guys, yeah.
This is funny.
I think it's a little funny, you know, like trolling. She trolled him back.
Yeah, because it's stupid. Like, I'm gonna name Iceland Alessandro Land. The name of Iceland is now Alessandro Land because I said so, right?
For sure.
I could say anything, you know, like what the fuck, like.
Yeah. Couldn't believe it.
The YouTube videos have been kind of laggy, but it's not as bad as I thought it'd be. I feel like
It's not too bad.
it's been pretty good.
Like,
We can't go 720, but 480 is decent.
And 480 is like kind of sick, you know?
Yeah, it's good enough quality. Like Twitch only streams up to 480 anyways. So regardless, I could put this in 4K, but if you watch it on Twitch, even on the highest quality, it'll only show it to you in 480.
Alright, which one should we do? The recording?
The shortest one. This one.
A un arancel vendrá.
Okay, so if you want to translate it, you know.
I mean, it says on the bottom, but if you have any questions, I'll respond to them. Fool, you could translate it too. What the fuck?
Otro en respuesta. Y así hasta que pongamos en riesgo empresas comunes. Sí, comunes. Por ejemplo, de los principales exportadores de México a Estados Unidos son General Motors, Stellantis y Ford Motor Company, las cuales llegaron a México hace 80 años. ¿Por qué ponerle un impuesto que las ponga en riesgo?
Oh, I think this is a tax
No
one,
es
actually. It's
aceptable
not,
y causaría a Estados Unidos y a México.
Yeah, you have to type in Gulf of America.
El
Or
70%.
Mexico of America or whatever the
She makes a good
fuck.
point on the tariff, so you want to...
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Feliz que es día hoy, miércoles.
Donald Trump hizo pues declaraciones acerca de cambiar.
Digo, obviamente Golfo de México es reconocido el nombre por Naciones Unidas, un organismo de Naciones Unidas, pero el siguiente, ¿por qué no le llamamos América Mexicana? Se oye bonito, ¿no?
América Mexicana.
América Mexicana. Hay que esperar también a que
I love how she used the map from the 1600s and illustrate her point too.
Of how silly it is, you know? It's like, at that point, if he's gonna shoot in that kind of level, you know, you just gotta give it back, you know?
From here on out, I'm referring to this country as Mexican America.
Yeah, Mexican America, dude.
What's the Mexican American news today?
Yeah, it's I think it was a great way she responded to at least Trump,
Yeah, because it's stupid. Like,
Yeah, it's like-
what is he gonna do to make the global community like listen to that? Other than like if he bombs everywhere, unless he just like starts bombing every country. It's like, yeah, you have to call it the Gulf of America, you know?
Alright, what's this video?
Well, I mean, and so before we get into the next one, we can mention the tariffs, right?
Oh yeah, the tariffs, yeah.
And we talked about nationalism or nativism, but what Trump wants to do is he wants to tax the shit out of every country who wants to do imports or exports with us. This is gonna destroy the American economy. Because at first we'll make a lot of money here in America because we're importing all this extra stuff. Well, making all this extra money from these imports and exports. But these countries are gonna get tired of that. They're gonna be like, why the fuck am I gonna pay 100% tax to trade with America when I could trade with China, get my items off Temu, and pay a fraction of the cost, and then China gets the money that would have been going to us. Hitler was a nativist. What happened in Nazi Germany? The economy dried up after he after he killed millions of Jews and stole all their money and all their resources. And then he also invaded a bunch of other countries and sucked them out of their resources. Then, once he couldn't expand anymore, Germany got sucked up of all their resources because no one wanted to trade with this country anymore because they were taxing everyone and everyone was under the threat of invasion. There's no incentive to trade with Germany anymore, and Germany crumbled within itself. What Trump is doing is the same economic plan that Adolf Hitler is doing. He's trying to expand into Greenland. He's trying to expand into Panama. He's trying to raise taxes on the global community. This is gonna drain America of all the money that we have.
And it's going to affect on the job sector, you know? We're going to lose way more jobs compared to like the gain of the jobs that we have of what the tariffs specialize in, you know?
100%.
It's like at the end of the day, we're going to lose thousands and thousands of jobs because of the tariffs, you know?
Wait. Oh, I forgot. I thought it was the previous one.
Which one's this one? Oh, this one's a green one?
Mm-hmm.
You want to go into this? I mean, like, we were kind of already, like...
No. Watch this one. One.
President-elect Donald Trump says he wants to wrestle ownership and control of Greenland, renewing a pledge he first made in 2019.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time.
Donald Trump Jr. just visited the territory, where locals were seen wearing MAGA hats.
I just want to say that it's a very special place.
But to actually buy the island, the U.S. would have to first navigate a series of obstacles. Greenland, a former Danish colony, has been tied to Denmark both politically and culturally for centuries. It's hosted multiple visits from the Danish royal family and features symbolically in the crown's coat of arms. Following Trump's latest comments, Denmark's king unveiled a change to the centuries-old design, making the segment representing Greenland more prominent. Although Greenland now has powers to self-govern, the island is still bound to Danish approval on certain issues.
And Denmark maintains responsibility for national defense and security, while at the same time the Greenlandic government has responsibility and control over domestic issues and domestic resources.
So under the current framework, Trump would need to convince both the Danish government and government of Greenland to agree to a deal. But if those connections were to detangle through independence, a movement which has been gaining momentum in recent years, Trump could directly negotiate with Greenland. Some Greenlanders are welcoming Trump's interest as a way to pursue that goal. That includes one of the island's most prominent online influencers.
3 things you should know about Greenland.
When I look overall, I'm happy that U.S. is showing this much interest in Greenland, because this way...
Fucking clout demon.
It's like the wrong person to interview a content creator.
Yeah, she's literally like, oh wow, my hits are gonna go up by 1 million if fucking Trump invades my fucking country. Damn, and she should change her fucking native ass name to some other shit if she just wants to get colonialized. Like, damn. What a sub.
Yeah. She should, like, change it to Jessica or something. Some white.
Ivanka Olsen.
Yeah.
We are being heard much more around the world. It feels like us getting the attention is speeding up our independence of Greenland from Denmark.
However, even
by becoming an American colony. So no fucking independence. Like if you have a problem with Greenland being colonized by Denmark, I'm pro Greenlandish independence, but not for it just to become an American colony.
Independence. Analysts say purchasing it is far-fetched.
This decision about Greenland is for Greenlanders. I don't believe the Greenlanders are interested in swapping one relationship with Denmark for the United States.
Plus, the government of Greenland has said it's not for sale. But if Trump did manage to make a deal, analysts say 2/3 of Congress would have to ratify a treaty before the takeover would be signed into law by the president. This process is not without historical precedent. In 1867, Andrew Johnson gained control of what is now known as Alaska from Russia in a deal which cost the U.S. $7.2 million,
That's
equivalent
crazy.
to around 100.
That's like 3 houses in LA.
It's like a house.
Like one really big house in LA.
$138 million today. The U.S. has also tried to buy Greenland before.
Sturdy deep-sea cutters of the United States Coast Guard patrol the western Greenland shores.
Following World War II in 1946, U.S. President Harry Truman offered to buy it for $100 million. Denmark refused to sell. So far, Trump hasn't floated a concrete figure for any purchase. Instead, another option he has not ruled out is taking military action.
Can you assure the world that as you try to...
This is what I think he's going to do.
...of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No, I can't assure you. You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this. We need them for economic security.
Trump has also suggested leveraging economic policy to achieve his goals in Greenland. He's threatened to hit Denmark with tariffs if Danish officials don't cooperate with his takeover bid. Ultimately, it isn't clear how taking control of Greenland would be achieved.
The reason that the Truman administration didn't need to go forward is because NATO was created 3 years later, and that was the basis by which the United States signed in 1951 our first defense agreement with the Kingdom of Denmark, which allowed us to create our northernmost military base in northwest Greenland.
That base, which still exists today, includes a radar station that is part of the U.S.'s ballistic missile early warning system.
You know, the thought about invasion, well, we're invading ourselves. We have a base that is right there, and it's so important to the United States. And again, we have the strongest ally and partner in the Kingdom of Denmark.
Even some of Trump's advisors acknowledge a Greenland takeover is unlikely. They say instead an expansion of U.S. presence on the island through economic investments and a larger military footprint is a possibility.
And I think the other...
That's what I think is going to happen.
The other option, which I think is more realistic, the U.S. could pursue a compact of free association agreement. Agreements like we have with Micronesia and some of the other island Pacific nations. Right, this approach would allow the United States to expand our access and influence, but also while providing safety and security for the Greenlandic people.
Greenland has vast deposits in rare earths, oil, and gas, also making it a focal point for other major rivals, including China and Russia.
Greenland is quite essential for the homeland security of the United States. It has been that way certainly since the Second World War to prevent Nazi Germany from invading the United States, the Soviet Union, strategic bombers, Russian submarines. The United States has to prioritize the Arctic and making sure that we have the strongest possible defense and deterrence. We don't need to purchase Greenland to do that. We have a robust security, defense, and economic relationship with the Kingdom of Denmark. They have been open for business for quite some time. We just have to deepen that investment. It's the right thing.
Last thing, in case we forgot, there's a genocide going on in Palestine. Apparently there's a ceasefire. How much do I believe this? Until I see it, I don't believe it. I think that Netanyahu doesn't give a single fuck about how many Palestinian people exist or live. I think he's intent on killing every single one of them if he can. So we'll see in the coming days whether a ceasefire exists. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. I hope that it happens. However, I don't think so.
The glittering towers of Doha are 2,000 kilometers and seemingly a world away from Israel's conflict with Hamas in Gaza. But it's where peace negotiations, hosted by Qatar and mediated by Egypt and the United States, are finally inching closer to a deal.
The talks that are ongoing now are on the final details of reaching an agreement.
The delicate understanding may still fall apart, but the outline of a three-stage agreement to bring home hostages and end the conflict is now said to be in place. Phase 1, an initial 6-week ceasefire, during which 33 Israeli hostages will be exchanged for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners.
The issue of what we refer to as the keys, the names, the identities, living, dead, of the hostages to be released against the names, identities, and numbers of prisoners to be released in return, has been a key element of these negotiations.
For one group, it's hostages. For the other group, it's prisoners. Fuck the media for thinking that one group being put in captivity is any other different from another group being put in captivity. Both of these groups of people are being imprisoned by one government or another. To say that the Palestinians are prisoners and the Israelis are hostages is fucking horseshit. And it's just honestly racist.
Humanitarian aid, which has been restricted for months, will flow at the rate of 600 truckloads a day. That would more than triple last month's average number of daily crossings. All of this close to proposals that have been on the table since last spring, with one important change.
Hamas has backed down from the assurance from trying to get any explicit or really even an implicit guarantee that the war would end in that first phase.
Phase 2 would see the remaining living hostages, believed to number around 60, many of them Israeli soldiers, returned in exchange for a permanent ceasefire, full military withdrawal, and the exchange of more Palestinian detainees.
Reaching agreement will require all parties to summon the political will, to make hard decisions, to make hard compromises.
Ooh, the hard decision of stop killing other fucking human beings. What a hard decision that Benjamin Netanyahu must face, to stop killing fucking brown people.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is calling on all sides to finalize the deal. Phase 3 would be about...
And I hate these American politicians who are like, oh, we need all sides to finalize the deal, as we give millions and millions and millions of dollars in funding and arms to Israel. And then they act like they're soldiers of peace, just saying, oh, just work it out, when we're the ones actively funding the genocide. Fuck you, Anthony Blinken. You're the reason that hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are dying.
And the creation of a new government for Gaza, one that excludes Hamas and will require significant regional and international cooperation.
There's no guarantee that the agreement will move from the first stage to the second stage to the third and final stage automatically. It may just amount to a single stage agreement, which is a temporary ceasefire in exchange for the release of roughly 33 Israeli hostages.
All parties are now focused on getting a deal done by January 20th, providing a grace note to end Joe Biden's term in office, and a big win for the incoming president, who has vowed to bring a swift end to the conflict.
I will stop the chaos in the Middle East.
I think it's fair to say that ultimately it is President Trump and both Israel's desire and the desires of Hamas's patrons to try to avoid the wrath of Donald Trump that may push this over the edge.
Rebuilding will take years, as well as tens of billions in international aid, all while the issue of how to forge a lasting peace remains unresolved.
Are we any closer to a political solution?
Sadly, no. I think we're much farther away from a political solution, such as a two-state solution or a Palestinian state. That is farther off than probably at any point before now.
Dreams deferred in favor of basic survival.
And like they said, just because there's a ceasefire doesn't mean any political solution is going to be achieved. It just means that technically it's no longer going to be a war, but soldiers will continue to kill Palestinians. Palestinian territory will continue to become smaller and smaller and smaller, and the apartheid will still go on. So just because Trump is going to stop the quote-unquote war doesn't mean that human beings are going to stop dying. It doesn't mean Trump gives a fuck about Palestinians. It just means that Trump is gonna, if Hamas doesn't surrender, Trump will just squash the little tiny bit that is Palestine into obscurity.
And new developments today in the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas after some delays earlier today. Late word this afternoon, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet will be meeting tomorrow and is expected to ratify this deal. Hope and relief in Gaza today as people who have lost so much now prepare for a new beginning.
We made it. We've survived. After a year and 3 months of pain, of suffering, of
Who just press it once?
It's time to say this is the end.
A ceasefire potentially just days away after Hamas and Israel reached a deal yesterday. Demonstrators in Tel Aviv's Hostages Square gathering today as they await the return of those taken by Hamas. A 6-week ceasefire expected in the first phase of this deal, and Hamas likely to release 33 hostages, including American Keith Siegel.
I can't.
No one gives a fuck. Sorry, Keith Siegel. I'm sorry that you're in captivity. It sucks, but hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have died. Local news. I don't give a fuck about Keith Siegel. Can we focus on the ethics of the conflict that is being reported on, rather than just saying, "Oh, hey, Israel is doing the good thing because one American got released." It doesn't matter how many Palestinians died in order to make that happen, but this one American fucking dude who got released, everything is okay.
Myself to raise expectations until I'm giving Keith a hug.
There have been some holdups in finalizing the agreement today, with a back and forth between the two sides. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet was expected to meet today to ratify this deal, but an Israeli official says they will now meet Friday instead.
I am confident, and I fully expect.
What a surprise! Israel delaying the ceasefire once again.
Again, as we said on Sunday.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken interrupted by several outbursts while speaking at the State Department today. Attendees who are not members of the regular State Department press corps were removed after shouting questions about U.S. support for Israel.
Freedom of speech, free country. America is the freest country on earth. If you want to hold our leaders accountable or ask them questions, they'll take you out of the room and arrest you. Fuck you, Anthony Blinken. Fucking bitch. Coward. Answer the questions.
He would be happy to take questions after his opening statements.
Poor shit.
And this.
And it's not the funnest thing to talk about, the war in Israel. It's kind of ending on a sour note, but it's something that we need to harp on about because it's still happening and people are still dying, and it's one of the biggest things that is happening globally currently. And us as a country here in America, we are directly responsible for it, unfortunately. So, are you good? Are you disassociating?
No, I'm processing. It's just sad. It's sad, like, people are really hoping that this was it. Like, this is the final, like, the end of, that they made it. And it's just sad that maybe there's a possibility, you know, it keeps going. You know, since a false hope.
It's gonna keep going. As long as the United States continue to fund Israel, this conflict has been going on for 80 years. The only thing that changes is the speed and the amount of Palestinians they decide to kill. It's either, oh, this is going to be a time of peace where we only kill a few Palestinians and take over a little bit of territory, and then it's going to undulate back to, now we're in war and we're going to kill all the Palestinians and we're going to take over all the territory. Then another ceasefire is going to happen where we only kill just a few Palestinians and only a little bit of territory is taken over, until there is no more Palestine. Until there's a two-state solution, this is going to continue to happen. And it's sad. It's fucked up. And, you know, what drives me insane is that you could watch ABC Chicago News and they'll talk about how Keith Siegel is now being released, but not about how Israel and our taxpayer dollars have funded the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. So, I've been saying the same shit since, months ago with the first stream. Even when I didn't even have the show and it was just like a stream. I've been saying the same shit, but it doesn't change, unfortunately, so.
We got to see for the upcoming weeks.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it, at least in that aspect.
We'll report on it next week, but I don't think much is going to change. They might do a ceasefire for a little bit, but people are still going to die. Israel is still going to put, IDF soldiers on the ground to murder and rape and torture Palestinians and still starve them and bomb their hospitals and bomb their water supplies because Benjamin Netanyahu is a white supremacist. He believes in Israeli supremacy. He's a fascist. He's just like Donald Trump. He believes that his people are better than the other people. Therefore, his people have the right to live and the right to be in that territory, while other people don't have the right to do anything.
Yeah, it's definitely a very sour way to end this stream.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's the Realest News Report. The real shit, it sucks. If we just talk about the happy and fun shit, people won't be pissed off. I need people to be pissed off. I need people to want to fucking fight and take action, It sucks that we live in a world like this. The main thing is that we need to believe in the human species. We need to be optimistic. We need to believe in change. We need to believe that we could stop these horrible things from happening. Never stop believing that we could change the world that we live in. That's what gives me optimism. But that doesn't mean that I turn a blind eye to the things that are happening in my society. I want people to be exactly aware of all the horrific things that are happening, but always have a belief in themselves and in their community that things can change and that we can achieve the utopia that we deserve as a human species.
That's very well said.
Thank you.
It's, it shows that it's like, that a lot of people need to find that courage, the way, and that optimism of keep fighting, keep advocating, keep not letting other oppressors silence you. That's like the main thing.
The beautiful thing is with technology, we'll be able to unite human beings in a way that we've never been united before. One of the things that I eventually want to do with this stream is I'm going to have brilliant people in my chat. I'm going to have geniuses. I'm going to have powerful people, way more intelligent and influential than me, who are going to be able to make platforms where they can get hundreds of thousands of people onto one, even an app, even a website to network and meet in places and show up to town halls and city halls and actually make a difference and make changes in our community. That's going to be one of the goals that I have for this stream, and it's going to be something that I repeat constantly. Hopefully that will happen one day. Hopefully this is a place where I could call to action people to do good in their community and to be able to organize different factions of volunteers and groups to be able to organize and unite under one common goal. That's the long-term political goal of this stream, if I'm being real with you. So
it's a safe space, safe environment.
Exactly.
To talk about issues that's going on.
Well, the world is never a safe environment to talk about any issues. As long as Trump is the president and as long as there's psychotic people out there, there's only so much safety that there is in our society.
Yeah, I'm saying like this stream, at the end it's more meant to be a safety to let people actually say the truth and talk their own truth.
Exactly. And even if you disagree with some of my opinions, I can guarantee you, me and every chatter who ever comes into my chat will have more in common than I have in common or you have in common with Trump, with Elon Musk, with Mark Zuckerberg, with any of these fucking assholes who make our lives miserable because they want to keep their power. And that's what I want people to realize. I want Trump voters to come into this stream and be like, wow, that makes sense. That's real. I want to be a part of your cause, even if I don't agree with everything that you say. Because we as a working class have more in common than we have not in common. And that's what's going to make us powerful.
Yeah, and the fact that we can also change our minds too, you know? If we find a solution better than ours or an actual thing that makes even more sense, it's like we're able to pivot, and a lot of people are stuck in their own ways and seeing one view as black and gray.
Yeah.
So it shows that, and it also shows our progress, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Very excited for upcoming streams.
Let's play racquetball.
Once we finish this, yeah.
I mean, we're done.
Yeah, I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the consistency.
Yeah, next Thursday.
Next
I already wrote 2 things down for the next stream. I don't know if you want to stay a little bit and start writing some things down in Notion.
We can do it within the week, but just to recap, we already have a January 23rd, so you know it's official. When the streams on Notion are dated, that's when we're going to post for sure.
Dude, you might as well just fill out the whole year, bro.
Might as well just come in next Thursday, and, you know, we're going to be a little more organized, a little more cleaner.
I think it went pretty good. I think the tech, it went well. I think although the echo is a little bit irritating.
I think we'll figure it out. I think we've improved from the last one, and we're going to continue improving.
I think still compared to most shit on Twitch and most shit on YouTube, it's pretty fire.
Yeah. I'm more excited of like
get a new computer, fool. Oh
I'm more excited.
New computer, new lighting, no glare.
New computer, new light. I think I'm generally more excited of this and this project. You know, it's not just a stream, but more like we're nurturing an environment,
a community
that will have those resources, and we will give resources, or they'll give us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People, like,
yeah.
There's way smarter people than us combined. And
we'll have people in the chat who will fill up our Notion without us even having to do anything. We just come here and talk about it, and we're like, hey, everyone get on a platform and let's meet on I don't know what fucking day at this place, and we make things happen in our real world. And that will be in years time, but we'll get there. So I've been unhappy and unsatisfied with my life recently, but that's because I haven't been on this shit, because I haven't been consistent on this. My personal life has been kind of a mess, but you know,
that's what the viewers wanted to know, you know, when we asked you in the beginning, like, how your life is going.
Well, I mean, we'll get there.
I'm just messing.
Not the very first day, but when the chat is more active and they want to ask me shit, like we'll keep it a buck. But I mean, right now it's just paying off a lot of credit card debt. But right now, this has become my main priority. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and it's like this gives me my purpose in life, because this is what I want to do.
Yeah, and like with the chat and like people, we gotta be consistent, you know. And then once that consistency hits, it's gonna.
How many people did we hit today?
I think 3.
That's cool. I mean, I see like stuff in the chat, like that's cool. Like I haven't been on in a whole like month, 2 months, so like I'm just happy that people popped on, and that's just Twitch. Who knows? Maybe YouTube popped off.
I didn't check YouTube.
I don't know. Maybe there's comments, bro. Who knows?
Let's see. Nah, nobody popped up in YouTube, but you know.
Not a single comment.
Oh, there's one, but I think that's me watching.
Oh, one person like currently viewing.
Yeah, so a lot of more upcoming things, and very exciting to at least be a part of this.
Yeah.
You know, and like I think we've said again, we'll get better at this as weeks go by. So yeah, I think this stream went good overall. I think maybe next time we should make the sad news first, and then at least, you know, give them a positive note. But I understood the format. And
I mean, like, because the thing is, it's like news people need to know about is like usually sad news.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Yeah,
Like, it'll be like, wow, like,
oh, we're doing so good. Yeah, like the LA fires are like 40% contained. That's good news. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, it's like the sad news and like the reality of the world.
Like, we keep it real. It's the realest news report. The positivity comes from the fact that we believe we could change things. The positivity doesn't come from the shit that happens in the world. Every year that we keep the same billionaires and politicians in power, and the climate gets hotter and hotter, the worse life gets for everyone on Earth. And I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat that, but I will always believe that we can change it. I will always be a political optimist and believe that us human beings can still save our race.
Yeah. And I'm your host Alejandro, and my co-host Alessandro right here.
It's been our pleasure.
I was just joking.
Oh, fool, I mean, like, I went with it, dog. Like, if you want, you can start filling up Notion. You can sit here, I'll sit over there, fool. Like.
Anyways, yeah. I think this is it, right? Let's cut it.
Yeah, that's it, fool.
That's good. All right, this is a good one.
Thank you for everyone for popping on. I appreciate the support. We'll be on at the same time at 7:30. We're gonna start doing a pre-stream, so that way you could hop in our chat and interact with us around 7:15. So that way we have a hard start on the topics that we talk about at 7:30. So yeah, we're very excited, and I swear to God, we're gonna be consistent now.
Yeah.
I'm tired of letting my ADHD and my perfectionism keeping me from actually doing this, because practicing is the only way to get better. And I know I need to be more entertaining when I talk. I saw you get bored a couple of times too, so it's like I
wasn't bored. I was more like in my thought of what to say, and then like forgetting some of the things to ask you, and I'd be like, oh shoot.
Because when I was talking about like the Israel Hamas shit, I just saw you go.
I was processing it, you know? I was processing. I think we all.
Just like,
no. This is the thing where you're mistaken.
I was like you. I saw like the IDF like shooting kids in the head, like going off in your head.
Exactly.
And shit.
I was processing all of it, you know, and it's just something that I don't like to see terrible news all the time, but it's just something you have to. It's because it's just like it always makes me in a sad mood.
Yeah.
Because I feel the empathy, like the sadness of them, and like the way they mean it, you know, how they truly mean it. It's just a very like I can feel that, and I feel like they want it to be over. So I was processing it more than ever, but yeah, that's why I was like, let's do this.
You know, we don't do this show every day for a reason, because it can be heavy, you know, and we'll try and make it comedic, we'll try and make it funny, we'll be better at comedy as we improve. Yeah, but we'll improve. Like if we're on air, like this is free practice, you know, like
Okay,
Brendan Schaub. I wish I was as funny as Brendan Schaub.
I hope